So I don't think we can go forward without looking at the past, and I don't think we can embrace the present without dreaming of the future and knowing the past. So I like how they tied in three different generations of Spider-Man that we know, and the stories, their stories of loss, their stories of triumph, their stories of internal struggle as well, and how they each have it in their own way, and how maybe your hero, again, your average neighborhood Spider-Man is someone and they're them acting on. I keep telling sometimes my friends that if we all did what we know to be right, I guess, and if we all did our jobs or our roles, I think a lot of things would function a lot better than we think. So yeah, I also like Inception for puzzles because sometimes I think what we embrace, truth is, might actually be a lot simpler than we think, not because we're wrestling with it to make sure it's true, but just something that, like kindness costs you nothing. It might be expensive, and that incurs sacrifice, which is choice demands consequence and sacrifice. And we have different equations for things. So yeah, kindness costs us nothing. We just think it's expensive because it's how much are you willing to sacrifice necessarily? And sometimes, and again, it's not necessarily to do with the other person, but it's more, what can you give that doesn't cost you anything? Your time. But even though we can argue that, yes, time costs a lot if you spend it in the wrong way. So you see? So.
And when you said that, what came to mind is, that movie again, Spider-Man and, the villains. Yeah. And what stood out for me is I realized the hero has help processing the emotions and what's going on in their mind, while the villains do not have, let me not say they don't have the opportunity to process, but it seems there's no support. Yeah. So again, just the way you're reiterating the sense of community and support.
They both, and if you think about it, both Spider-Man had community in all of the movies. But they forfeit community. What they think it will empower community, they end up forfeiting because it now becomes selfish. It's a selfish pursuit of, let's say, making the most superhuman thing, but you end up doing it yourself, and then you absolutely abhor it, or you think they're worthless, or you think that the only way they can exist is being a lizard, which is a bit rough.
Yes. So a couple of more books, and any other movie you want to slip in there?
Movie Up. Yes.
The cartoon, the animation. Yes.
Like Up and Wally. And Wally. Yeah, I think they're great. Up is because you see someone who's so riddled in their pain finding joy, and I think that's something everyone should do. It's like, even though there's another movie where you see the girl's emotions in her brain, joy, sadness.
Inside Out.
Yes, Inside Out.
One of my favorites. Oh my
Absolutely.
God.
Even Wally. Wally is, we see a machine with a heart, which is kind of like how we are. You enter a capitalistic world, you're like, get the money, but then everyone who has the money is telling you it doesn't really matter until you're alone and you have either no one to share it with, or people who absolutely do not value you because you have all the money and you give them all the access to it in the world, or you do something great and people are just like, okay, we don't care. We just want access to you because of those things, not because of who you are, which again goes back to the thing for connection. We seek it on so many different platforms, but rather than just being like, hi, are you okay? How was your day? So don't be like, I need to send this, I need to see blah blah, I just keep this. I have no idea what my boss might be going through, and I don't necessarily need to exclusively know, but if I offer some vulnerability, you might find in most cases people might offer it back even when they're terrified.
Wow.